So thanks for having us out here. I suppose what we'd just like to do to start off with is run through the new equestrian insurance product that we've set up with EA. Basically, since the 30th of June, Gow Gates has taken over the broking for the EA National Insurance Program, which covers the equestrian community in Australia or Australia-wide. What we'd like to do is give you a general rundown of who we are, who the insurers are, what the policy cover is, and then the claims process and what it means for coaches, and then take some questions from you. So just before I start, it's a summary only, general disclaimer as always, so don't take what you hear today as the actual policy. You need to refer back to the policy documents before you take any of it as read. Also, you need to compare this back to your own personal needs before you act on any of the advice. So it's obviously a group policy. It's not going to be all-encompassing for everybody. So you need to consider your own needs against that, and you can discuss them with us if you'd like to. So yeah, what I'll do, we'll run through it, who we are, sports cover are, overview of the policy, the claims procedure, a summary for the coaches. And Will MacArthur and Catherine Thompson's here. Catherine's got a background in equestrian from when she was a kid, and I've learnt a lot about equestrian since March when this first came up. Sports cover are an Australian-based insurer with their own Lloyd's syndicate, so they have Lloyd's security. That being said, they settle all their claims in Australia. They've got offices in Sydney and Melbourne, and they were 2009 and 2010 Australian Underwriting Agency of the Year. So they're a very reputable insurer in the Australian market and experts and specialists in sport insurance. The EA insurance program has 4 key policies: sports injury, public and products liability, professional indemnity, and management liability. Your sports injury covers you and other EA direct members, volunteers, coaches for injuries sustained in equestrian activities. Public and products liability covers you for your legal liabilities as a result of personal injury or property damage. Your professional indemnity covers things like your professional advice as coaches, and the management liability is more centred around the clubs and the directors and officers of EA, the branches, and also the clubs as opposed to the individuals. So the sports injury policy, there are 2 tiers of people who are covered. So the overall groups are Equestrian Australia, the state branches, the direct members, and then other groups from there. The insured persons are the people who fit within those categories. So your members, coaches, volunteers, medical officers, basically anyone who's acting in any of those capacities for the insured. So for the groups of EA and the clubs and things like that. When are those people covered? There's 3 categories: EA direct members, EA coaches, and the rest. So EA direct members are covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for any non-income earning equestrian activity. That can be riding, loading horses, feeding. The only thing it excludes is travel to and from those activities. So any equestrian activities that you're not earning income from, that you're not getting any financial reimbursement for. Coaches are covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for your coaching activities. So obviously to be an EA registered coach, you need to be a direct member. So it's basically an extension for EA registered coaches to cover their income earning coaching activities. Again, excludes travel to and from those activities. All other insured persons is basically the other people who were noted on the first page, so your volunteers, your medical officers, officials, that sort of thing. Basically, they're covered for their EA-endorsed activities or club-endorsed activities. So if you were working on the canteen at a club activity and slipped and fell in the canteen, you'd be covered for that. And basically you have to be at an EA or a club endorsed activity working on behalf of them to be covered under that section. The sports injury cover has 3 main components and then some additional benefits. So the first one, capital benefits. Capital benefits are a lump sum payment for permanent injuries. So the The top limit is $60,000 as a lump sum for things like death, paraplegia, quadriplegia. It then sits to a table of benefits below that. So things like loss of use of one arm or loss of one finger, they get percentages based on that 60,000. The maximum you can claim if you're under 18 is 25,000. They've increased as part under the new policy. So they used to be 50,000 for over 18 and 12,500 for under 18. So that's an increase to the new policy. Non-Medicare medical benefits, probably one of the most commonly claimed areas. So it's 85% of your non-Medicare medical activities, up to a maximum of $3,500 with a $100 excess. Sorry, I've had a cold for a couple of days. The $100 excess is only taken once per claim, so it's not taken for every individual item that you send in that you'd like to claim for. So the policy can cover things like ambulance, physiotherapy, private hospital accommodation, theatre fees, drips and pins, dental, basically any medical expense where there's no reimbursement at all from Medicare. It can't cover things like doctors, surgeons, anaesthetists fees, x-rays, where there's a Medicare reimbursement, be it whole or partial. That's the National Health Act. So basically it dictates that as a way to protect Medicare, that no general insurer can provide any insurance that covers any Medicare expense or the Medicare gap. That's unfortunately the way the Act works. So yeah, it's 85% of those expenses where there's no Medicare reimbursement at all.